Hey guys, so this is part two of my Nicki Minaj Ball Gate video, and this time I want to talk about Nicki marrying that man. Lord, this girl loves putting the barbs through hell. Let me tell you. So basically, when Nicki Minaj said this whole thing about the vaccine, what I noticed is that the media went back and kind of pushed her husband's situation back in her face, which honestly, don't marry somebody like that if you don't want to deal with, you know, things like that. Like, that's kind of your own downfall, Nikki. Like, it is what it is. But what I didn't like is that this story about Miss Jennifer has been out for 3 years, and she's now getting a lot, like, a live talk show and everything like that. Like, it was just weird because so many YouTubers prior had talked about it, and like now she's coming out on TV and things like that, and they're putting her in the forefront. And I'm like, why would y'all traumatize her like that? Like, I mean, she honestly could have said no if she didn't want to. And I'm speaking of Miss Jennifer, but like, it was just so weird because literally it was here today, gone tomorrow, and I'm like, why do y'all do that? Like, I don't like that media uses certain predicament just to, like, sorry for the sound change, just to like get a reaction or get views, and it's kind of a slap in the face to everybody who already previously interviewed her. I honestly didn't watch it because I've listened to her story multiple times prior to her going on the reel. I know the story. I do believe it happened because he went to jail for it. So it's like, and he's also been for 20 years letting the government know, not the government, well, yeah, basically, he's been letting the courts know that he's a registered sex offender prior to Nicki Minaj. And the only reason this story about him and Nicki being served prior to the Met Gala is being put out is because Nicki's dumb behind didn't want him to register because then that'll mean her address would be out there. And like I said prior, if you don't want that smoke, don't marry a person like him. Like, what are we not understanding, Nicki? Like, what was the point of you marrying somebody like this and then getting mad that you got to do things like this? Like, it makes no sense. But, you know, this was a real divide in the bars. Like, we were literally divided about something like this. And I'm like, we shouldn't be divided. We should be holding her accountable for this because she could have had the pick of the litter, and really, she could have had any man she wanted, and this is who she decides to date. Like, and I was wondering why. Like, a lot of people were speculating that she only dealt with him because she wanted to like measure up to Cardi B or something like that with the Bloods and all that stuff. And I was like, but Nicki Minaj has always hung out with gangbangs. Like, this isn't new. Like, if you've been following Nicki, you know the type of dude she hangs out with. Come on, she signed to Young Money. Like, let's not front like back in the day these rap dudes wasn't out here. I mean, they still kind of are doing it, probably a different way. But, you know, gang banging and slinging. Like, this isn't nothing new. What frustrates me is out of all of the men's, even if they're gangbangers, all of the men's, you choose him, like the one who gets caught for his stupid antics. And not to call the situation with Jennifer or the person who lost his life to him, because a lot of people don't talk about that. He's a murderer. Um, Stupid. It's just he got caught. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know why she chose this man. Like, we wouldn't even give a fuck if he wasn't married to Nicki Minaj, honestly. Like, and that's another part that I was thinking about. I was like, I wonder how many people get away with this type of stuff. Because he honestly did serve his time. He constantly, reported where he lived as a sex offender prior to Nicki. And the only reason we're literally thinking about this is because of her. And I'm like, I'm just trying to decipher or understand on her part why she's doing what she's doing. I do have this one theory because, like, Nicki, was abused when she was a kid. Like, she grew up in a very abusive household. She talks about this openly. You can go back in any documentary and find this out. And then she had a brother who we know what he's in jail for. Um, People talk about Takashi, but honestly, that Takashi story always I've always side eyed it, and I'm gonna continue to side eyed it because as a person who grew up in New York and I've seen girls being older men faces, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that's not a possibility. But you know, if you speak out against certain things like this, you're the one in the wrong. So I'm not gonna touch too much on that topic. But I do have an opinion that I may want to share one day. Don't know. I probably should now since I'm not that big of an influencer, but you know, people be digging for shit. Anyways, back to Nicki. But like, yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out why she chose him. Like, a part of me is like, maybe it's a child, and this is not me making excuses. This is literally just how people act when they've been abused. They tend to go back to the same abuser. They tend to continue the cycle because they have not yet learned to break the pattern. And I think that's what's going on with Nicki. But for me, I feel like this is strategic, Lord, a strategic measure that she's taking. Like, there's something about it. Like, she's dating a guy or she's married to a guy who's not as up there with her. Like, not even just status wise, because he was dating another, not a celebrity, but he was dating somebody prior to Nicki, and Nicki stole him from her. So like, there are people who would still mess with him even with his criminal past. It's just, why is Nicki messing with him? Is what I'm trying to debunk. Because I honestly, if I had to be honest, I don't think it's love. Like, I think it's like a business thing, but I don't think it's love because Nicki really do thrive when it's negativity in a way. Like, if you follow Nicki for a long time, you know Nicki name rings bell every time it's some goddamn controversy. Like, it's crazy how much she is boosted by negativity in a way. And I'm trying to figure out if that is the reason why she's like out there. And this is not to say she doesn't do positive things. I'm just saying that her positivity always gets outweighed by the negative things that is surrounding her, which is why I was mad at the media for how they handled her talking about, you know, doing your research before getting vaccinated, and if you need to get vaccinated, do what you need to do, because they were on it with her husband's situation. And I'm like, it's cute how y'all got the victim, but y'all didn't get the family who the murder victim. Not, I mean, you can't get them if they're dead, but I'm just saying, like, it was very selective because y'all know how people get when it's sexual assault, and it's just like, it's 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 when people, they harper on it, and it's like, yeah, it's a bad thing, but they don't get to the root of the problem. They don't fix it. It's like, it's nice to talk about, but not nice to deal with. And that's how I feel when the media talks about sexual assault, to be honest. Like, they never really deal with the actual issue. They're just trying to teach people a lesson. That's how they use it. And I stand by that opinion because it's to me, it's really true. Even with the Harvey Weinstein, the Bill Cosby, the R. Kelly's, like, the men have been menace for years and they've been able to get away with a lot of stuff until they needed to be taught a lesson. And I think that's the same thing that's going on with Nicki Minaj. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Um I think I'm almost done with this drawing. How do y'all like my video setups now? Like, I'm trying to get better with like animating myself a little bit better. Cause these are gifts, but yeah. Anyways, I'm done. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more. And yeah, see you guys later.